Is that better? Oh, the bar's going up. I think the bar's going up. I think you've willed it to work, Susie. Yay, you can hear me. Phew. So, as I was saying, and now you can have even more of a laugh because I've been playing around with OBS Studio. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate you so goddamn much. I've been playing around with OBS. It's a studio thing. It looks like I'm a pilot. There's lots of colours, lots of bars and buttons. So I just kept pressing buttons as I do. And I sort of ended up looking a bit ghostly, looking a bit transparent, but I don't know how to unpress those buttons. So I'm just going with it, and it sort of gives me what I wanted to show people, in that when I'm going on and on and on about doing the inner work so that you can project from your electromagnetic being, your electromagnetic field, and you can make a difference with that, asking you to see a little bit of what I see when I look at people. And it can look very like this to me. You see these sparks going around. And so from within me, if I go into the middle, you can see that whatever is from the inside of me, I'm projecting out. And it's going round and coming back into me. It's a complete circuit all of the time. And so when you aren't doing your inner work, when you have lots of trigger points, when you have lots of unresolved things within, you can imagine the colours and the frequencies that you're letting off. Now, this happens to be where we're in circuit with each other all of the time. This is how when you enter a room, you know immediately whether you want to stay or go, dependent on the energy that you feel, because already up to 10 feet and more, your energetic field has already bounced off many people in that room. So this shows as well how the lesson that I go on and on about being discerning about the people that we are around, the things that we are around, the things we get involved with, is very important. Because even if we do all of our inner work but then aren't discerning about the people that we are with, we are constantly bouncing off their electromagnetic field, which affects us. If we, in our masses, as we are right now, seeing people in fear, in trigger points, in division, in race wars, you can imagine what they are projecting out, and that has an effect on the entire frequency. So when I'm saying do the inner work so that you can project out a whole and beautiful field, a beautiful high frequency, this is why it's so important. The realm that we live upon, the mother, she does exactly the same thing. Picture me as her, and she has exactly the same electromagnetic field constantly coming out and going around and coming back in it. So this is how we actually live. It's something that many people don't see, but if you stop and be discerning, you do feel it. As I said before, when you go in a room, you feel the energy of the room before you even talk to anybody, before you even look at anybody sometimes, because this field is already bouncing off other fields in that room. You know immediately whether you want to stay or go, dependent on the energy that you feel. So this is something that we need to be more aware of. And this is something that actually helps fix what's going on right now. You see, the powers that be are projecting. October is going to be a very heavy month. But in that heavy month, they use that heavy month to their advantage. While everybody's distracted, they're all powered up. They're projecting exactly what they want. And they are also throwing out these dark spells that are intended to hook into our inner trigger points, to the places where we haven't done our inner work. And so with that being said, they fully expect us to be projecting out a divisional, a broken, a very weak electromagnetic field, which then has an effect on the people around us. The very thing we can do to change things right now, today, is to do the inner work, is to know that we make a difference, because yes, we have relatively small bodies, but this expansive field that we carry is the very thing that is like a biofeedback to the realm that we stand upon and all that is around us. So by us doing our inner work, by us really concentrating on feeding a high frequency through us and out of us and around us, we actually do change the narrative. And this is the least that they are expecting. They are constantly doing the least that we expect. We need to do the same thing. At the end of the day, give them the due. They're good at what they do. They keep their powers. They keep their control. Because they do the least of what we expect, they cast out something to distract us, which is what has been done in the last 8 months or so. And they plan it. They do it with intent. All of that being very strong magic. And the least they expect, because they've been monitoring us through social media, they've been monitoring us, they've been finding out exactly where our weak points are, exactly what triggers us, exactly what they can hook us in with, what they can put us into fear with. And so by doing that, by concentrating on collecting all of that data, they know exactly what spells to cast out to affect our electromagnetic field. The least that they are expecting is that people will listen to the likes of me, to their inner self, and the likes of others that do the same as me, that say this can make a huge difference. That is the least that they are expecting. They don't expect you to be able to even concentrate on doing this right now, because they're feeding so much distraction into you, so much propaganda into you. So do the least that they are expecting. And I just wanted, as silly as I look, as transparent as I look with all of the buttons that I pressed, it gives you an idea of what I'm talking about when I say I see people's auras, when I feel and see people's energies. This is sort of the kind of thing that I see. And I want to see in many this colourful, powerful layers of colours and layers of frequencies coming out from all of the different power points, the chakra points in the body. So I hope it gives you that visual to back up on the words that I say, because sometimes I think it can make more sense if you have an image to look at and see what somebody is talking about when they're trying to describe what they see in their mind when they look at people or feel people's energy. So for the 3rd of October 2020, we've got the 9 of Swords. You can't really see it because of all of these buttons that I've pressed, but the 9 of Swords, it's trapped, it's imprisoned, it's wrapped up, it's bound, it's thoughts, it's wisdom, it's intellect, but it's trapped, it's locked. And that is due to all of this spells, the spell work that's been getting done. A lot of people have been trapped in fear, and because they were trapped in fear, they then got locked in positions in life. You know, businesses going under, provisions not being met. And so we have the Star in reverse to clarify this. So this speaks of obstacles being put in the way, deliberate obstacles being put in the way, pandemics being put in the way. And this is where the Star card invites you in reverse to go hard in the paint, dig in deeper, do the least expected, and use the harshest energies to lift yourself up the most. It's a little bit like being in a game, and then you get a bonus level because you've been brave in the other levels. And in this bonus level, you have to face the worst monster or something. I don't know, however it resonates with you. And you have to slay the worst monster. But if you manage to do that, if you manage to be brave and you manage to be strategic and go ahead and think your way through it and manage to win, you get a huge bonus at the end. That's what these energies are giving us, and that's what these energies are asking us to do. So although they are challenging, although they are hard, lots of people are losing their rag because they're feeling bound up in these thoughts that they can't get rid of and locked in a position. The Star card in reverse is asking us to go into those obstacles, go headlong into those obstacles, to go face them front on, to get your strength and chisel those inner demons into those diamonds, those foundational light reflecting points that then make your higher conscious so much higher. We can't expect to be highly conscious if we ignore our lower realms. They are important to us, and when we ignore them, they become distorted. We get triggered, we get locked up in these mental thoughts because we're not feeding. You know, if you plant in herbs, if you plant in anything, you plant it in good soil, don't you? You plant it in good foundations. You plant it where there's nutrients, where there's something for the roots to grab onto. So how can we expect to be all love and light, but then be afraid and forget our lower realms when that is our soil? That is the place where creation happens. It's the place where we carry children. It's the place where the man sends the electrical spark with that sperm to interact with an egg, where creation happens. Everything happens in the lower realm first. So if we ignore it, if we don't chisel away at it and use it, then we can't be highly conscious. That's not the way it works. If you know how to use it and incorporate it in yourself, then imagine all of a sudden your lower ground turns into diamonds. What do diamonds do when you have one big one on your hand or a ring? It reflects the light. It bounces the light. So what do you think that does to your higher conscious? It builds it. It gives it somewhere to root. And you need roots. So we're feeling here that people don't have roots with the Two of Swords coming up again. And this is blindfolded. This is not being able to see which direction. And of course, this is deliberate from the collective stage with the Eight of Cups in reverse clarifying that. There's some things that we know we need to let go of. There's many people thinking, oh, I wish we could just go back to 2019. Well, no, because in 2019, very dark things were still happening to us by the few that control the many. They were still getting away with murder. They were still getting away with things that they should not be getting away with. The complacency in 2019 built us to this point now. So there are some things that we do need to let go of. There are some things that we need to accept, need to change. But we need to get ahead of the game. Instead of always being second and wondering what's happening, do some research, look it up, find out what's going on. Because I tell you what, during this pandemic, they've been doing their work. They've been changing laws to protect themselves. They've been changing systems to make them even richer. They have been profiting through all of this while we fell for their spells and got bound up in fear of something that should not be feared. And so we find that we're clinging on to things that actually did not do us much good. It was only because they had a shinier surface. As soon as the truth started coming out about what they were getting up to with our precious, precious children, all of a sudden their spell work and their plans and their lockdowns came out. Isn't that convenient? No coincidences, not ever. And so the next card is the Page of Cups. So this is a childlike energy. And of course, there's lots of people want to trust those that have been in power for far too long. They're in a childlike way. They've gone with the rules. You know, they've been manipulated. They're loving beings that, you know, just want to cling on and think, no, any minute now the savior is going to come, or any minute now they're going to stand up for us, these politicians. Any minute now. No, not minute now. They're already working against you and have been through this whole time. And so it's no good looking in that childlike state. But this is harsh to say because we have the Eight of Swords here clarifying it. So this is that merry-go-round of thoughts where we're going to start to see people that even if we are aware, we're going to start to see people around us in our lives going through what they would go through, especially in their individual lives. This will be happening too, as above, so below. There's going through a lot of devastation because what we have been in and what we see underneath us, around us, because of what is above us, everything filters down from the top. That look at this electromagnetic field, everything's feeding in, and they have the money to feed in, the systems to feed in. So you can imagine the control they have over our electromagnetic field if we don't take divinity over it. We're going to start to see people around us, even if we have been aware of what's going on, being shocked. Shocking news is going to come out today and maybe tomorrow, well, all through October, but particularly today and tomorrow, you know, that is going to break hearts of these Page of Cups, which is heartbreaking, and is going to send them on that thought merry-go-round of the Eight of Swords. That merry-go-round that once it starts, it just gets faster, and then you find yourself in a catch-22 position where you can't jump off, but you know you need to jump off, but you can't jump off because it's going faster. It's that mental lock. So with the Nine of Swords at the start and the Eight of Swords at the end, it's all about you allowing yourself to be imprisoned by the thoughts and the controls and manipulations that are being put on you. And this is disappointing. We have been, as a collective, in a narcissistic, violent relationship for a very long time. I want you, if you have time, to look up narcissistic traits, narcissistic relationships, and what it does to you. Because whether you've been in one in your individual life, I guarantee you, you have been in one in general, if you live in the masses, unless you live in a jungle somewhere that is just in nature, you've experienced narcissism and violent narcissism, because the powers that be operate from a narcissistic, violent place, and that filters down. To me, that is why we've seen such a rise in domestic violence, because what filters from the top filters down to the bottom. These people, the powers that be, will go to war at the drop of a hat for their own agenda. They will hurt their own people. We've seen that over this pandemic. Nobody is safe with them. They will do anything and everything to protect themselves. They will gaslight you. They will make you feel like you're going crazy, and then they'll love bomb you. And so a lot of people have been in the love bombing stage, so they're still clinging on like this Page of Cups would to, no, they're going to look after us any moment now. And there's information coming out that is going to shock some of them into awareness of what is going on. This is heartbreaking. It's just as heartbreaking for these people that are going to go through this around us as it would be as if it was an individual relationship. Because these people have gone along with the rules. You know, it's been good and said, if we go along with the rules, work hard, we'll achieve. And, you know, they've been led to believe that. They've been led to believe that they had a partner on their side, i.e. their government, their church, whatever it might be, on their side that would look after them. Where are they now? They're all planning about breaking laws. They're all planning about changing laws. They're changing the banking systems like you would not believe through this last 7 months. When you see it, you will be shocked, and you'll remember my words that the banking system has been absolutely revamped so that they can move large sums of money around in private, so that they can monitor the money on how much cash they can make without being known about, so that they can change the laws regarding themselves to protect themselves. The things that are going to come out, it has been nothing about what the pandemic has tried to put out. It is about nothing. That has all been to keep you distracted. That has all been to lower this electromagnetic field around you. That has all been to put you in fear so that they could get on with their agenda. So now it's our turn. It's our turn in that the King of Swords, King of Pentacles, Earth, is in reverse. So world is being turned upside down, and that's what a lot of these people will be feeling today. So if you have those people around you, just be aware of that. There's nothing much you can do. It's for them to come into their own awareness, and it's for you to speak to them only if you know they're ready to hear. Because if they're not ready to hear, you have to have that wisdom to be discerning, to keep your electromagnetic field whole and not waste your time. Also, you know, you can stress these people out when they're not ready to hear by talking to them, but just be aware of that a lot of people around you are going to get a shock. Now, it's our turn to flip the script, where they plan ahead, where they have monitored our behavior. There are many people like me, and even better than me, that have been monitoring these beasts, that have been looking at their behavior, that have been looking at their patterns, that can give you a heads up. So look at the banking systems, look at some of the names I mentioned in previous video today. All of these moving parts have been happening behind the scenes while they've been making you fight over masks, while they've been making you fight over toilet roll, while they've been making you worry, be in fear, while they've been making you feel like you have to just let your business go that you've built up over many, many years. They have been doing nothing, but they haven't been worrying about any kind of virus. They've been just making sure that changes are made to protect them as much as possible, because they know the cycle of the age is Aquarius and the truth is coming out. So they want to protect themselves. They've always built laws and rules to protect themselves. They've always built back doors and loopholes to protect themselves. So we want to flip the script. The least thing they will be expecting is for you to be doing this inner work, is for you to be doing this challenge and saying, okay, you can cast those energies out to me, okay, game on. I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to really get that ground with full of nutrients so that I can grow from this. I'm going to really embrace this. I'm going to go hard in the paint with all of these spells that you're casting, all of this fear that you're casting. I'm going to go hard in the paint to get my lower ground, my lower self, my lower frequency, which doesn't mean it's any less or worse or better or worse. It means it's important. It's your roots. I'm going to go hard in the paint to get it done. Thank you. Thank you. You've given me a challenge now. Because the least thing they will be expecting is when they're monitoring us to see and feel the electromagnetic field coming from us from a whole place, from nutrient-filled ground, from us not having the trigger points that they've implanted in us from birth, not having the control and manipulation that they've put in us like little worms in the brain. No, we accept the challenge, we accept the game. Game on. That's how we need to feel today. So when you're feeling oppressed, when you're feeling challenged, even by the people around you in your individual lives, game on. Game on. This is the least that they will be expecting. So if you have an interest in knowing about your whole being, look up the electromagnetic being. Look up the way that we can transmute energies through that. Look up how to do inner work. Give them that back, because they'll feel it like that. They'll see it in the statuses on the social media. They'll feel it with their magicians and wizards behind the scenes, knowing what's coming back at them. That is the least they will be expecting, and that's what they do not want. So yes, we might be a little bit late in doing it, but there are many people as well. When you're looking at social media and you're thinking, am I the only one aware and awake? No, you're not. They're actually even manipulating who you're seeing on your news feed to try and make you feel alone, to try and make you feel like there aren't many people who are aware of what they are up to and who are aware of our whole being, our whole self, and how to use our whole self. They are manipulating that even. There are many of us, and there are going to be more of us. But sometimes nature has to be a bit cruel to wake up the children. Sometimes nature has to be a bit cruel, to purify with fire. Right now we're getting purified with fire. Aries fire. It's an instigator. It's a starter. It's a fiery pit that embers come off. That's how we need to be. Game on. So that's what I want to give you today. That's what I want to leave you with today. On the bottom of the other deck was the Four of Pentacles. So this just speaks about building our foundations, building our earth, our soil in our lower frequency self, learning how to use it, not hide it away so it gets distorted and disfigured and comes out in trigger points and in division and in violence. No. Learning how to till it, learning how to sieve it, learning how to air it, learning how to be able to be in it comfortably and use it comfortably. Because we cannot be truly namaste, light and love. We cannot be our optimum selves in those words if we are not even rooted in our ground. No flower can grow if it is not rooted in its lower self, if it's not rooted in its ground. No flower can blossom and be beautiful without having good nutrient soil. You know what nutrients go into the soil? The waste of the trees, the dead leaves. So the very things that are harsh to you, the very things that feel like death to you, the very things that feel like fear to you are your nutrients. They are your nutrients to fall in your ground, in your lower realm. They're your nutrients to build yourself up from. They're a gift if you choose to see them and use them that way. And that's the way it should be. You guys are super awesome. And a lot of the new clients that are coming to me, thank you so much, because you are sustaining me and my family, and the client list is increasing. I appreciate that so much. So if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can book at TrueDivine4@gmail.com. You can come to Facebook and give me a private message, TrueDivine44. We do energy work, spiritual guidance, and personal tarot readings where I go really in depth to help you get the answers that you need to get. But think about this. Picture this. Picture what I see. when I look at people and feel people, this electromagnetic field, it's part of you. It's a part of your gift. It was just hidden away from you, the knowledge of it. It's been hidden, manipulated and covered up. But this is the other side of us that they know about, and that they try to limit. So let's make sure that we give them back what they're least expecting. So power to you today, love to you today, wholeness and strength to you today, because you are divine and you are sovereign. But sovereign means taking a stand. It means being brave. It means being a warrior in the good energies and the negative energies, the positive and negative vibes. That's not to say either is good or bad, because you can use both. You can use and harness both. And we always have both coming in and out of the cycle. It is crazy for us not to use it and be aware of it. It is crazy for us to not have that as an energy source too, and try and run away and avoid it. Lock ourselves away, literally, to avoid it. So I hope this is giving you some appreciation for what you're doing for me, some love and some visual, even though I pressed too many buttons and ended up looking a bit transparent. But hey ho, I wanted you to see these more than me. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I don't hope you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Have a great day. Even if you're going hard in the paint in your lower frequency self, remember my words. Just get down and dirty in there. Dig in that soil. Air it out. Give yourself the relief of that. You won't be carrying as much. You'll be light. Do some breath work. Do anything you can to center yourself today and picture this field expanding, and picture their faces when they feel it, when they feel that biofeedback of you, your powerful self, and when they feel it in the many. It is an awesome way to do the least of what they are expecting. Much love. So who is here? Susie, thank you so much, because you just keep me going, and I don't even know what I pressed to get the sound on, but you've been there willing it, made it happen. And Spirited Woman Co. I seem to get my energy after midnight. That's when creativity come to me, and it's so quiet now too. I like that too. I'm trying to sleep earlier and rise earlier, and that's going pretty well, because I can stay up for days, Spirited Woman, and I get bad at that. So because I get so much done through the night, and I don't need much sleep, so I have to be careful of routine. You have a beautiful, creative, and gentle day, Jen. You are much loved. Oh, thank you, Spirited Woman. I love and appreciate you being here too. Susie, I love you. You know I do. My Susie, and my Spirited Woman, thank you so much for letting me know that I was live and that you could hear me. I really appreciate it. Okay. Much love. Love you all. Mwah. Now I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to press buttons. Oh, it's so bad.